primary screen or it freezes? Is that what's going on?
Well, I don't know what's going on with my other laptop, but we're gonna, it does. We're actually live on Twitch right now,
All right.
and which is crazy because I had to completely switch over to a different computer. And there's no fancy stuff like our good friend David always. But you know what? I made it work on the fly.
There you go.
So, um, give me 1 second. I didn't think this would. I honestly am really shocked that this worked. So I'm kind of not half prepared for this. So, like I was
It's
prepared on
okay,
the other
man.
computer, but now I'm like, holy crap, we're actually out there and we're live. Um, I'm trying to tell people that we're actually live. Okay, that's enough. All right, if you're familiar with Misfits and Miscreants and you're familiar with who I am EM Ronnie, and you've seen me uh, as the EM for our Vecna Even harassed by my players. Uh, that show me love in the um. But yeah, so as far as that goes, you know who I am. But what we don't know right now is who the gentleman with us right me as you're looking. This is a dear friend of mine that I've known for quite some time. We started out together in high school and a little bit after. My friend, go ahead and introduce.
I'm Hassel. I've been friends with Ronnie for probably about, probably close to 40 years.
40.
35.
We didn't know each other. We didn't know each other pre-womb. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're only 25 years old.
29 with this gray
20.
hair. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we've known each other
And
quite some time.
yeah, I am a gamer, uh, occasional GMer,
Mm-hmm.
but I usually like to be a player. I am trying to work on some stuff right now. I mostly like children's stuff for my son and the local kids, trying to get them into it. So I'm going to be cutting a lot of my DMing teeth with them. So that's going to be talk about a challenge. Talk about people who will really challenge you, children.
Don't I know it, dude? I run kids sessions, and honestly, you're gonna have a lot of fun with the kids sessions. I run
Oh yeah.
kids and adults, and there's really honestly no difference. You heard kittens every single time you do it, both for both groups. Um, yeah. So yeah, you've GM'd a couple of times. I know that you have ran. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't ran it yet, but you're working on a game.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay.
Uh, I've been writing that. I'm trying to do a campaign based on Prohibition era Chicago. It has some really cool elements. Really neat how I'm going to have like the plagues basically spreading through the city, and I've got some good ideas. A lot of mafia involved, a lot of speakeasies and underground stuff. It's going to be pretty neat, and I'm trying to make it. I know it's Call of Cthulhu. It's hard to live through even one adventure.
Yeah.
So I want to try to make this as a campaign, which is for that system is a little bit of a challenge, but I welcome it, and just want to have the players make a couple extra characters.
Remind we got to talk about that. Remind me to remind me to talk to you after a few things with. Um, I'm going to switch my chair out and
Alrighty.
disappear into the matrix.
Oh God.
I know, right? our cool little
Yo!
backgrounds. All right. Um, so there's one chair here that stabbing me in. So you've played multiple different games. You are a board gamer,
Mhm.
you are a war gamer, and you are a role playing game
Yes.
role player.
Yeah.
Just recently attended GaryCon. That's
Yep.
last year,
Absolutely. Back in March.
or this past year, I should say, back in March.
Mhm. My second one since
Yep.
I've moved back to the States. I've been to two in a row. Plan on making I only live an hour and a half away, so it's going to be a an annual tradition. So I
Uh,
book this same cabin right on the lake in Lake Geneva every year, and that is like my 4 or 5 days where I just turn off all social media, turn off the phone, leave the family behind, and go up there and just have fun and play
game
games.
your heart out.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just 4 straight days of one shots,
Yeah.
and it's great.
I got to go one year, and I've been up to Lake Geneva multiple.
Hmm.
You and I kind of not reconnected. We'd talked, but we saw each other again after several years.
Yeah.
At that, when we went up to you met us at like for
Hmm.
the wedding and everything, like X June. Um,
Yep.
and then we yeah, we just used to hang out all the time. But life happens, stuff.
Yeah, you got to grow up and move on and make a living eventually.
Military service, jobs, all that
Yeah.
good stuff. Um, but yeah, but I was really excited to to know that you would like we dabbled. I say dabbled in. We grew up. Hassel and I both grew up in the same small town, and he knows as well as I do that role playing games, Magic the Gathering, anything like that was hard to get a hold of for one, and
Yeah, there was
two,
no shop that sold anything.
wow, you had to travel at least an hour away at most. Anything, um, even
The
like
Satanic Panic,
the Satanic Panic hit us about.
really big where we grew up.
It hit us about 10 years too late as well, and stuck around about
Yes.
10 years too late after that. That
Uh-huh.
that hit us, and so we when I say we dabbled in, we played it as much as far as
Right.
like D and
Yeah.
D. And honestly, I don't know about you. With me, the only role playing game that I really knew was Dungeon. What about you?
I also knew the Marvel superheroes but it was also TSR.
I forgot. Yeah, it was TSR. I was introduced to that in high school. The
Hmm.
face rip system, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So it was that I love that because I grew and so that one and Dungeons and Dragons. So we
Yep. Those were the two. Yeah, that was it.
that was it. Both TSR games. Um,
Hmm.
so with me personally, I'm going to go through mine real quick, and then of course because you go to college. And I kind of got out of every movie watching and stuff like that. And then about years ago, I guess, 10, we'll just say 10, I remembered, holy crap, I really loved Dungeons and Dragons. And then I was into it before this, but when Stranger Things came around, it just kind of reiterated the fact I want to play that again.
Yeah.
And I put in my dues. I did the thing. Found out that the table that I tried to get into was full, even though it was supposed to be a public table. And the shop I was at, it was a game store. Live now in North Carolina. Uh, I left them. I was like, okay, fine. I'll play anyway. I'll take my ball and go home. Uh, so I left, and as I was walking out, I was like, no, I let it end like that. I turned back around and I looked at the shop owner. was like, and this shows my bias, so don't think poorly of me, anybody, or even you, Butch. I said, does it have to be Adventurers League? Oh, maybe 2 weeks. So I bought Player's Handbook, 5th edition Player's Handbook, 5th Manual, and Dungeon Master Guide. Studied up, bought a one shot off of D Guild, sat down to run it, and nobody showed up. Okay, that's fine. Scheduled for the next Saturday. Yeah, it was a Saturday. Next Saturday. Next day I was off or what. And had people show up ever since. And I've been doing it. And then my horizons were broad. We'll say this: I got a little burned out on the fantasy aspect. Not that it won't say that it's always been my first love and always be my. But I found Call of Cthulhu. I found
Yeah.
others, others, and I counted up the games that I actively run at the drop of a hat, and it's
Woo. That's pretty good.
I have now I have to get the books out or the PDFs or
All
whatever else
right,
I
of course.
purchase, but to remind myself of stuff. But I ended up running. I just immersed myself in gold to be able to share this with other games has been good. In that, I'm I met a gentleman by the name of Chuck Cumbo at a local con in Carolina called Mythicon, which
Hmm.
used to be known as Mace. So, of course, we know is a troll lord, and it is through him and a few others that I was introduced to the siege system. Um, and then it was just I just knew of castles and crusades, and that's why we're here tonight. Of Siege Part Two because we did it last summer, um, and now I've quickly Siege system is quickly in the top 5 of all time. And for everybody else, yeah, I'm just going to admit it. I'm a bit of a shill. Uh, it's I prefer it over a lot of other.
Hmm.
And but that's kind of where I came in my GM journey, and that's how I got introduced. Now, what about you in your journey of?
Kind of similar. Fell off for a little while there. In college, I played a little in college, and then once I joined the military, I didn't really play much until I got to Germany. And when I was in Germany, I became my best friend out there. His name is Volker, and Volker, he a German guy. He lives in Saarbrücken. He his father bought him back in the 80s. His father bought him the Dungeons and Dragons books, and that's how he learned English.
Told me about
He learned Yeah, he learned English, and he has, like, his basement is just wall to wall, just games and RPGs and stuff. So when I saw him, we became friends, and then I went to his house, and he didn't even know I was into it, and we went down to his man cave, and there's all this stuff. I was like, oh my god. So we were great friends out there, and then when I had COVID, like, this is when COVID was like first happening, and so I was like quarantined
it.
in
Yeah.
my house, and then my doorbell rings, and I open my door, and he's like across the street, like in his car, waving at me, and he's like, "Look down." And I look down, and there's this big, huge, like Warhammer 40K, like one of those like $200 starter boxes,
Yeah.
that has like. He's like, "I know you're bored. I got this for you. Start painting." And honestly, I've only played Warhammer once,
Okay.
but I've painted like 1,000 of the minis.
Yeah. And
It's like
they're
a hobby
good.
inside a hobby. And so I did that, and then as soon as I got back in the States, that is when me and you started connecting a lot again, and then we went to Ernie Gygax Jr.'s wedding, met about every living person connected to TSR
Yeah. And
from the old days.
And then,
And in my gaming group right now was a an adventure writer or a campaign writer for who was friends with the Ernie Gygax.
oh, Gary, the
Yes, Gary
dad,
Gygax.
Da-
Yeah,
daddy,
yeah,
dad Gygax.
Gary Gygax. Yeah, and so he showed me all these letters and all this correspondence. He saved all of it between him and Ernie, like while he was writing these campaigns and stuff. And I ended up buying one, found one of his campaigns still in plastic on eBay, and took it to him at our game night. And he like wrote a big nice thing on the cover for me. But I see his name's Bob Sarvis. You can look him up. He's wrote some
Yeah,
really cool stuff. I see him all the time. I mean, every Wednesday,
every Wednesday.
every
Yeah.
Wednesday I see him. We go play board games. We don't play, and it's funny is I've never played an RPG with him.
Oh, that's funny.
We've
It's
only played
really funny.
we only played board games like heavy Euro style board games, and so yeah, that was it. And then I got, and then when I got to, of course, when I was in Germany, I went to Spiel Essen every year,
Yep.
so I learned a little bit about some other systems and other RPGs. But it wasn't until I started going to GaryCon do I really got into it. I think the last time I went there, I only played a handful of D&D one shots, and I just trying to dip my toes and experiment and all the others I could, while I was in there. And like you, I really fell in love with Call of Cthulhu as well,
Yeah.
and a few others, a few sci-fi ones. I did. There was one that was really cool. It was a Firefly RPG,
I
like
played
based
it.
off the TV show.
Played it when I went to
Yeah, I think we had
GaryCon.
the same GM as
Yeah.
well. Zog, I
Yeah.
think was his
Yeah.
name.
Zog was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And he was cool. And I remember Margaret Weiss, she insisted that he build a character specifically for her to play based off of Tasselhoff for that RPG. Apparently it worked, but it's like I'm sure that wasn't easy for Zog to figure out.
No, no, yeah, but
Combine Tasselhoff with Firefly.
that,
but
wow.
uh, but also while I was there, I played some Castles and Crusades,
Oh,
and a little segue when I was talking about doing this big kids adventure this summer. I might use that system because it might be a little bit easier for kids in a way because it's a little because of some of the things we're going to talk about today. Some of the things we like.
that,
Uh,
that's a good segue into while we're here. It's like I said, the summer siege part,
yeah,
the endless summer of siege. But uh, Castles and Crusades. Let's talk about that a little bit. It is they use Pro Lord Games, Stephen Chenault, David Chenault, all these guys. They have a system. Castles and Crusades, of course, is fantasy in the world of Arid, and it's fantastic. If you ever get a chance, Pro Lord's Pro Lord's Twitch channel, you can actually check out. I don't know if she's been to watch more work. There for a while, she was reading the lore of that entire world. Really cool. Grace is awesome. A fantastic player. Uh, Member of the Troll Lord team. But so Castles and Crusades is a fantasy, is a and it is using a siege system which is like first edition light. So if you're familiar with first edition, there was a lot of crunch to it because D&D first edition Dungeons and Dragons started out as a war game, then moved into role playing, and so there was a lot more dice rolls.
yeah.
You were playing
It's
a
like a
wizard.
natural evolution from chainmail.
Chainmail, yeah. I couldn't remember the name of the game, but it was
Yeah.
Chainmail. And if you were a wizard, you start out with like one hit point. and then
Yeah, yeah.
progress with 1 hit point beyond that, and every day. Sorry,
Yeah.
um,
That's okay.
getting
Kind of
text
became
message.
keep the wizard alive.
Yeah, it was. If you weren't in the back, if you weren't in the back as a wizard, if you were definitely going down. You stub your toe as a wizard, you die. So it's not quite as bad as that now. In it's not bad as that at all. In that that tradition, that old school tradition of live in some. Um,
Hmm.
but THACO was the armor system tradition to hit armor class 0, where 0 was the best armor. They kind of took that and was like, no,
Yeah.
and the armor class you have to meet or beat to be able to hit, which I'm thankful for, because even having played hours and hours of some of those rules in the day, I still don't. THACO being playing it at a first edition table, I just roll my dice and was like, that hit. I just look off at the GM. He's like, yeah, that hits. And, actually did that at Ernie's table. Is that hit, Ernie? He's like, yes. Okay. And finally,
Yeah.
by the end of the game,
Ernie,
I
you'll
kind of,
never get Ernie.
yeah. By the end of the game, I was like, okay, I think I get it. And, the next morning it was, but, so Castles of Crusades keeps that old school, like, part of the game alive, but has expounded on every, whereas mana points instead of slots, hey, things like that. So it has all the stuff that you recognize flavored with names. Um,
Mhm.
uh, it page handed magi or magic missiles that
Right. Yep.
but it's very simplistic, because when you roll the d20, you add your modifier, very simple, +2,
Mhm.
+3, whatever, and then you add your character level in. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, I like that. That's where the siege engine is the star.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, instead of some big giant skill list, the game master's like, well, what attribute is this really about?
right.
And is that one of your character strengths?
Yeah. So as
It rewards the castle keeper or the castle keeper's rulings over the rules.
exactly. Now, it's funny you said about, is that one of your character's strengths? Because there are things in there that are called. I mean, you have to tell your castle keeper, DM, dungeon
Hmm.
master, game master, castle keeper. Okay, if it's a prime attribute, or a non-prime. So as far
Right.
as a castle keeper prime attribute,
They're a
um,
little easy.
it's base level. Your base level that you have to hit is
Hmm.
12.
Yeah, primary 12 and it's 18 for secondary.
And if it's a non-prime for secondary, it is 15. And then it'll be like, okay, this is a L +2. So that means if it's prime, you have
Hmm.
to roll a 14. If it's non-prime, you have to roll a 20 or. So that's it. You
Yeah.
just add the into what the base level is, and that's it. So it's very simple, very good, and the lore. I mean, I'm telling you what, lore is, as
Hmm.
far as they have put work into. Um, and so, what was your very first? Whose table did you?
I, you know what? Whenever I meet them, they can kick me, but I don't remember.
Oh no, they're not going to kick. Uh, I'm pretty sure. Um,
I told you when it happened,
yeah,
but I don't. But if anyone watching this or listening to this ever goes to Gary Con, they'll know what I mean. You play by Sunday, your brain is cooked.
yeah. Pretty sure you played in one of Hoyt's games.
I think that name rings a bell, so I
Hoyt,
think you
uh,
might be right.
Hoyt is a good friend of mine, and Hoyt's a fantastic. And It is. I think that might have been. Well, it's one of your first games. We'll put it that. Not your
Hmm.
first. So yeah, let's just look at real quick. Designers: Stephen Chenault, David Chenault, Matt Golden, Robert Doyle, Mark Sandy, Todd Gray, and James M. Ward. Published by Trollord Games. Publication is 2004. Modified D20 system known as the C. So it is a simplified variant of the system that was created long ago. Um, so that is pretty much Trollord Games, and it's completely printed here in the U.S. It's shipped from here. Everything else, keep up with them. They're a fantastic. So the reason that we're on here talking about mainly because I've not had really a bad game yet of Castles.
Hmm.
Um, it is. I wish I ran out of the house that got my player's handbook of both games. I had them right now. That's how my brain works. Um, but yeah, I've not had a uh, bad game of it yet, whether I played it or whether. Now I think that I have a bad game when I run it, but that's just because.
Your own harshest
Yeah.
critic.
Um, but I say Ard. Um, there is the Codex of Ard. There's the Bluff Side. There's the Haunted Highlands. Enze, which is the gritty, realistic setting. Um, and then they have. It's kind of a. How do I put this without sounding bad? You can just go generic with it, just generic fantasy. These books were written some sort of idea of what you can, but with
Yes.
Castles and Crusades, you can make it. I know people that have taken fifth edition and made castles. Use the siege castles and with the 5e books. Um,
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind
very
of
convertible.
it's
Yeah. And
uh,
great for homebrew.
so there, which half the time if I buy grab a an adventure from that, half the time
Hmm.
I'm just in the middle of it. I'm like, okay, this is just we're going off the rails, so I'm just gonna have to start making everything up. And which I do.
And that's what's cool about the system because instead of being like some big, giant, complex game system, it's like a toolkit.
I absolutely. In fact, he put out the Game Master's Toolkit as well, Stephen, which is really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I've got it at home. It's a good book. But this is a system that I would recommend anyone at all. Um, the If you're into PDFs instead of the physical copies, both available or a bundle of on Trollor Game website, Trollor Game. But clearly, honestly, look at the different classes. Look at classes real because I just remembered I do have. I'm going to
You
as long
know,
as my computer.
while you're doing that, I just remembered something. When I was talking about Bob Sarvis earlier,
Mm-hmm.
one of the campaigns that he wrote was called Vindication, and it's famous as like one of the most difficult campaigns to ever run. Like people hate it
Yeah.
for good reason. Like I mean, they hate it because it's hard, not because it's like bad.
Right.
But
Right.
if I'm not, but it was published by Trollord Games.
They've got their hand in a lot of stuff that people don't realize. So let's look at the classes real quick. I mean, you got your classics like Bard, Barbarian, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Wizard. Um, Now, where it gets into different things, you also have did I say Druid? So barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, wizard. Now, we also add fighter, or I mean, add illusionist in there, knight, and assassin, which are different from the rogue class, not a rogue subclass. You can also multi-class. You have choices of dwarf, elf, gnome, half elf, halfling, half orc, and human. As races, species, whatever you want to say in there. And they all like if you look at let's look at knight real quick. So a knight, they give you the prime attribute of a knight. The prime attribute of a knight is charisma. You're a D10 for hit points. Any disposition is allowed, and any weapons are allowed except code of conduct limitations for knight.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's kind of what you would think a typical like. But it kind of puts me in mind of what people think of paladins now.
that's what
Uh,
I was going to say. Yeah,
yeah,
like an oath paladin, you know.
yeah, yeah. But they're a military leader, trained early age in the use of weapons, armor, siege engines, tactics, strategy, and horse. There's horsemanship in here. You have one of your very first abilities is birthright mount, which you can do riding horse or light war horse things. Horsemanship,
Crack.
yeah,
Wow, really cool.
yeah. Horsemanship, which
Probably
is a
not, probably not first level.
right off. What'd you say though? I'm so sorry.
Probably not first level.
For what was that? For first level for what?
Riding a dragon.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I don't know why my brain went on that. But your horsemanship goes under dexterity, but you can do cover, deflect, fall softly, leap, and charge. All these things are in there. A knight, as being a military leader, is also you inspire people, inspire your comrades. First level, you can affect up to 12 creatures. The ability affects up to 25 creatures at level 3, 50 at level 5, 250 at level 7, and up to 1,000 at level 9. Up to 5,000 levels going beyond creatures at number of rounds equal to the knight's. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, equal to the knight's level beyond that. 5,000 creatures at the number of rounds equal. They cannot be used in conjunction with, here's the other one, demoralize. At fifth level, not only can you inspire, you can demoralize other, the enemies, the other side. They can suffer a -4 to charisma checks. In addition, the effective foes must successfully save versus fear at -4 penalty, or suffer -1 penalty to hit. Until and they can, and it goes up how many creatures they can affect as well. Battlefield dominance at level 8. Call to arms. I mean, knights are incredible. As a really good addition to that. Then you go on past level 30. You have an honor attack, and at 20th level, you become a battle lord. And at 21 plus level, you can gain the extraordinary ability to confer an extraordinary knighthood upon chosen NPCs. So you can convert You can convert NPCs into knights at when you reach 21st level, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Um, and it goes on through monk. I wanted to take a look at what I'm familiar with real, such as they've got ranger, of course, rogue, and pardon me, I'm uh, uh, assassin. Of course, prime attribute is dexterity, hit 6, disposition, non-good creature. Any weapon, armor has to be lighter armor, leather, or padded armor. Then they can do like case your target, climb, death attack, guys, hide, listen, move silently. You have poisons and traps, sneak attack, slow kill at level 20, the whole nine. So they've added some stuff in, and since then they've added in, I think, a warlock class. There are different things that they're coming up with stuff for it. Uh, so there are some really cool things that you check out in here, as well as your different races that you play have different affinities and environments that they're good in, animosities, um, enmities, everything like that. So um, most elves have what is called, it's not dark vision. I think they call it twilight vision. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm also looking at the note. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is really, I mean, like the things that you and a lot of people are asking, um, as well as uh, well, I just realized someone told me that I minimized Discord, that which we're talking on, and we disappeared from
Uh-huh.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, so we'll just not do that anymore. So we should be back. Double checking. Hear me type, type, type. Um, so with that being said, there with general fantasy setting, um, and I adore castles and I really like it. It's not just because I know the people there or anything, or some of the people there or anything like that. It's just it's a very good system. Thoughts? What did you play when you played? Can you remember what class you played?
unfortunately, I don't.
You're fired.
Knowing me, it was probably a uh, probably a rogue
Oh yeah,
or yeah. So that's it's no, that was probably what it was. Yeah, or a druid. I'm sorry, or a druid.
druids. Druids are so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but so magic works a little differently as well, as far as um, the castles and crusade system go. I'm talking a lot, and I apologize. Jump in anytime and interrupt me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, man.
but so as far as magic uh, spell casting goes, there are multiple different ways you can do it. Some easier than others, and I did it again, so we're just not going to do that anymore. I'm phone for no. And I'm listen, I promise I know technology. I worked in the technology field for a while. So I know things. It's just it is things are not going well as far as
Hey,
being
it happens.
yeah, it always, when the what is it, the road to hell is paved with good. Um,
Right.
so it is what it is on that. You can use what I use mostly when I run one shots or anything as far as is you have a certain amount of mana point, and mana points. If you cast what you know is a cantrip, which is level 0 spell, you spend 1 mana point. Cast a level, spend 2 mana points, and those mana points after a long or
I
end up
like
doing.
that because that keeps it real simple. You're not worried about a bunch of spell slots and things like that. You've got your it kind of like well, what was it, Diablo, where you had your
Um,
health and your mana.
yep, yep. Oh man, Diablo. Uh,
Or I guess Elder Scrolls is like that too. Kind of has like
yeah,
your mana and your health. Yeah.
but as far as it goes, I mean, we can sit here and gush over it all day long. I'm just saying, like we both have experience. because of the summer. I wanted to bring you on, knowing that you played it enough to know what it is
Uh-huh.
and had experience on it and love of game. Um, to let people know that. Now, the one that you haven't played, but I got to get you in on, we'll do a long distance game for person. Um, is other aspect of it because it's still the sequel, still everything that you love about Castle Crusades, but they adventure. Amazing
Uh-huh.
Adventures is setting agnostic. Um, have cowboys riding across dinosaurs. Um, I recently ran a game last Sunday on this for this setting is,
Yeah.
and it was called Free Fire Zone, where it's in a post-apocalyptic. Nobody really knows how the end of the world came up, but they were all trapped in a basement of their apartment building,
Oh.
supplies, and a few of them had weapons that they had gathered before walking the day, and an explosion from cut off. So it was at that point they were like, "Oh, we need to go because we're in the middle of the Free Fire Zone," and they knew through different things that actions, um,
Mm-hmm.
and they were fighting for each other for control of that area or anything. They really didn't know what they were fighting about. They just know that there were patrols that because in the, we'll say, the near future, um, and they had to get out of. So we're still throwing. They were still throwing bullets around and things like that, but there, it was Terminator without the endoskeletons, the T-1000s, and laser gun. So it was in a future that something, I don't know if it was disease, if it was a bomb, if it was
Mm-hmm.
what, had ruined society. So they had to get out of there and find other survivors.
That there's some really cool directions you could go with that on like a really long campaign. Like start off like near future and slowly like descend into Mad Max.
Oh yeah,
you know,
there's so much
like
you can
start
do
off
with it.
War of the Worlds and then like once you're a year into it, you're Mad Max.
Ex- so Stephen Chenault and Davis Chenault both wrote, wrote and as a GM, of course, you read the one shot and you all the find out who the enemies are, and really, there's the only friends you have are the ones you had in the basement. And it says in the book that you get, it says a chronicle keeper. All your G Amazing Adventures, the chronicle keeper.
Uh-huh.
I would suggest they run at least two characters
Yeah, like I was talking about.
because there are random death scenarios when
Oh
you go
no.
out through. So I'm constantly rolling dice to see if a one pops up on any of them. If a one does pop up, I have to roll to see what happens. Like they
Uh-huh.
opened a door to an apartment, part of the apartment building, kind of rubble part of it. The boards down, and it struck a guy in the shoulder. Three giant nails struck him in the shoulder, and he was bleeding out. They came across a dog chained to a spike in the ground, and the military were outside, and one of them was not nice to the dog, so they
Uh-huh.
took action to save the dog, and had their final, like their big stand there, where a mounted 50 caliber machine gun on the back of a Hummer. They were firing M60 at each other and everything else. It was a lot of fun because they, of course, players, so they'll always pop a surprise on you. But it was a lot of fun. Now, Castles and Crusades can literally be in any point, yeah, and mixed together. Now, so I, like, sure he won't mind. Hopefully, he. Chuck was telling me his game of Castles and Crusades he was got to a certain dungeon right now. You know, they're doing all this. Feels like it needs to out which players and how. But when they came out of this certain dungeon, to the urge be petrified, dead, covered, and up to it. It was a Sherman.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
all these fantasy, you know, swords and sorcery people covered a tank, and he, I think it was like World, and they stumbled around in there for a while until back to castles and crusades and World of Air, and you know a different place, time, whatever, back, and he threw amazing adventures in there, and then came back to castles and crusades. So did a bit of a last year did one called Shadows of the Red God, Indiana Jones.
Uh huh.
So literally the players there's different classes in adventure and one of the so they're really cool. Let me tell you about the classes and amazing because they change it up, but you can tell kind of what they're based after. But you have the acrobat, arcanist or arcanist, whatever you want to say, um, magic. But you have a demon hunter, a duelist, the feral, gadgeteer or powered. They say powered, you can Iron Man or a robot or something like that. Gunslinger, the hooligan, the investigator, the mentalist, sonic power,
Mm-hmm.
pirate, pugilist, raider, socialite, the soldier, and the Zen archer. So someone took a raider this life and literally was with how they ran things, and in
Is
their
he a
own way.
raider in the Lost Ark?
Yeah, so it was like they fit in. The Shadows of the Red God was in the 1930s, right? So they're trying to find this knowledge uh, before you know, before the Nazis could get to it, you know, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So Amazing Adventures is another siege game that you can do anything with either one, but if you want more fantasy with the castles and
Mm-hmm.
barons and the bards, fighters, over in company, Amazing Adventures. I got to get you in.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. That sounds fantastic.
So
Gotta
um,
try that.
it seems like you have an affinity to like.
Well, you know what? A lot of that has to do with just the first few, uh, or actually, yeah, the several of the Call of Cthulhu one shots that I've done have all been set around that time.
Yep.
And also having now that I live in the Chicagoland area,
Yeah.
that's where like the really cool, the old Al Capone days and those mobs and the speakeasies and the Roaring Twenties in Chicago was a hell of a time,
Yeah.
So that's
Kidding on that.
it was parties and kind of like Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah.
So it's like so it's got all that going on in it, and it's just such. I like the 1920s combined with horror. So you get that Prohibition era, the horror it's really neat because it's like kind of out of nowhere. Like we watch these modern horror movies, you know, or you'll see some like fantasy horror movies. How often do you see like a 1920s horror or a an old west horror? You know, you don't, and I think that would be way better than that, cowboys and aliens movie that came out.
Listen, I have a weird love of that movie, so don't uh
It's okay, it's okay.
yeah,
Or Wild Wild West, that was awful.
we don't talk
Oh,
about
you like
that.
that one too?
No,
Okay. Okay, good,
no.
good, good, good.
It was rumored that Will Smith turned down Neo for that role. But,
Yeah, good.
but we got Keanu Reeves, so that was
I
a good
think
choice.
Keanu was definitely a better Neo than
Yeah.
Will Smith would have been for sure. I mean, Will Smith has, yeah, he has his range. I don't think it's Neo. I think he would have made it. He would have tried to throw too much comedy into it or something,
He wouldn't have been able to deliver the I know kung
Yeah.
kung fu. Um, but but it is but yeah, but talking about the movies that we love, make all these other things. The cool thing of oh, you could throw it into that as well,
Mhm.
whether it be or Amazing Adventure, whatever you want. And I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan not of the person but of the other people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was a garbage bag of a human.
Right,
Yeah,
absolutely. But
but stuff you know
love
Hulu and
love the art, not the artist.
right, but just a trip. But that's how I start all my games with Call of Cthulhu. Now, let me
Yeah,
tell
well,
you something. The trash
there's a
bag
lot of
human.
authors, a lot of artists, a lot of authors, a lot of design. It just it's a different kind of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm a big fan of what I'm working on now, and I think I like legitimately rethought everything. Uh, Now there is a game out there with it, and I do run it as well with this. But I would love to put not go crafty in 19 Appalachia.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot
Oh,
of fun.
Alien Appalachia.
Yeah,
You know, that's where Stranger Things missed.
should have
That's where
gone to
they missed.
Appalachia.
They should have gone to Appalachia instead of the Midwest.
Yeah.
Even though I live in the Midwest now,
So,
boy, people were way more freaked out by stuff in Appalachia than they were in the
well,
Midwest.
look at Appalachian folklore, and that would fit so well in the system because
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, you talk to anybody in Appalachia and out there. Now, if you're walking at night and you hear, or no, not even if at night, it's just whenever you're walking in the woods and you hear
Somebody say
somebody
your
say your
name.
name, no, you didn't.
Uh-huh.
Don't.
Yeah.
You don't whistle. You don't sing. And if the wind stops and the bird stops singing, get out of there. And I'm
Mhm.
like, when I was little and I heard this stuff, I was like, what's out there? And they're like, you don't want to know. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I don't want to know, Um, but my friend in South Carolina, his front porch house, actually, not, but his house is literally has to buy a specialized paint for it called paint blue. And the reason paint
Hate
blue,
blue?
paint,
Oh, haint.
a haint is a spirit that
Uh-huh.
if you painted your house blue, think it was the sky or the ocean and would pass by there. That's why you see willow trees or like trees, they don't sweep petals,
Yeah.
dogwoods and things like that, or they hang a broom over the front door. That spirit has to stop and count
I've heard that
all
one
the
too. Yeah.
petals. You have to count all the straws in the broom. And a lot of people say, even though we know it's because back then wallpaper was expensive, they
Mm.
would wallpaper their houses with newspaper. They'd have to count birds, paper, and the sun came up. Wait,
Uh-huh.
that kind of lore fascinates. Uh, the one that looks like old Hornhead but ain't is literally Appalachian folk. One that looks like
Yeah.
old Hornhead but ain't. And then you got all kinds, all kinds of fairies. All these,
Hmm.
it's not the fairies that we're used to that are all pretty in Tinkerbell. They're creatures, and
Right, right, right. Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, I think what I'm going to do is start now. I did writing one for adventures for that era of like putting players in a situation where they can't rely so much like
Uh-huh.
cell phone, satellite,
Yes.
phones.
Yeah. Yeah. You should when you make that, you should come up with some lore for the snipe.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So
I went on one
we
snipe
got
hunt when I was a kid.
yeah, you went on a snipe hunt.
One. That's all it takes. But I sent a lot.
Yeah.
I sent a lot of people on more snipe hunts after that, though.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Yeah. But come up with some like lore where it can, something have an actual snipe,
That's
but
really
it's
good.
not nice.
They're not. They're yeah. They're just not a nice creature. But
No.
yeah, it's one of those things where the siege system is very versatile and it's so forgiving
Yeah.
for GMs and players alike. Um, and the only reason, like the reason I did this, is because one, we hang out more. Two, so it's a little bit of
Yeah.
selfish. But two, I mean, like literally, I love the system, and I know you did when you played it.
Hmm.
And opportunity to, I will take the opportunity to talk about castles, especially this summer when the system, we're having the summer of siege again, and it was so successful last summer that they had to do it again. Hoping I can get in on an all seek castle keep. Hoping they let me in. But and that's, yes, that is a shameless plug for myself if from troll that, not just trollers, but from that summer siege, you know, group that we have going. If anybody's watching, that is a shameless plug for myself. Um, but it's so much fun. Like I said, so forgiving as far as just able to. It, they want the castle keep take more into their hands than a lot of other cities,
Uh-huh.
and allow the players to have what's the word I'm players can have, or
Yeah. Yeah. It's Castles and Crusade. It's a game for people who want that mythic, dangerous, open-ended feel of the older fantasy role playing, but there's unified mechanics.
yeah, yeah, yes, very well said. I need you in my life to interpret what I'm thinking all the time. But it's a wonderful system. I, like I said, I forgot my notes, my books at home, but there's so much more with it as far as I've ran. I actually ran some really cool one shots as well for Castles and Crusades, um, at different like at Mythicon different times. They have everything you need on the website as far as like fillable PDFs, different things like that. Uh, uh, Going into for your character sheet, and it is just, I don't know, man. There's only so much I can say before I start repeating myself as far as this game system go. Um, Anything that you want to say?
Uh, just that well, I think I've covered most of what I know about it, but
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it, and for like I was talking about the fact that it has these, it's easy to teach and run, and it's simplified or unified mechanics. I think that's why I maybe instead of doing 5e, I may be using that for like those kids adventures this summer, just to at least get them introduced to it. Because D and D, especially 5e, can be a little tedious for 12-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So don't I know it?
and so this having a simplified D20 system is something that be really good. And I mean I'm not saying, oh, it's easy to do it for kids. No, it's
Oh no.
fun no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. Like we talked about, being good for conversion and homebrew, and it's just some light adjustments. So this is like one of those things, like if you're like a lot of people I know, and you have those shelves of all your old modules and
Yeah.
things like that, you can learn Castles and Crusades, and blow the dust off of them,
Oh yeah.
and start some light adjustments, and you can translate the concepts rather than the mechanics, and that makes it very attractive to me, because you can basically just run it right off of the stuff you've got, and then you're just the mechanics are going to be different. That's it. It's very easily convertible, and
So,
that's
oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. That was
Uh,
about it. Yeah.
the one thing that I really like about Amazing Adventures as well, which is fate point. So fate points are almost like um inspiration, but you always like, we'll just read it straight from the book. A character always has limited amount of fate points. While the character replenishes the supply with every new level they attain, the rate of attrition can far outstrip the rate of gain. As such, players must use them wisely. A character can spend fate points to do any of these things. Fortune's favor, alter a single d20 roll used to make an attack, attribute check, level check, or saving throw. Mighty Blow, make a single earth shattering attack, which also stands a chance of smashing the character's weapon. You missed, avoid an attack. You just made it automatically succeed at a saving throw. Second Wind, recover lost hit point. Sound the charge, double the character's movement for the round. Down but not out, avoid death when reduced to below negative 10 hit points. Providence Smiles, gain a plot break. So in so Fortune's favor is a single d20 roll. So um, with with Fortune's favor, alter it. The character first through fourth level can add a d. Fifth through ninth can add a d8. 10th through 15th through 20 and a d12 to it. So if you feel like it's not going to make, I want to spend a fate point. So you can Amazing Adventures Player's Handbook. Um, you can feel like you're not going to make it. You spend a fate point. You pull that in to add it to top of. So if you're rolling a non-prime check, and you know that base level is going to be 18,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, I rolled total, rolled that, or I always make them do it before I tell them they so I'm going to spend a fate point to add a d6 to this. Sure, I pass 8 or,
Huh?
and you can roll that and add pop up. But sometimes I'm harsh enough to say, okay, if you think you're not going to make it, or you roll your d20, see if you're going to add spend a fate point.
Right.
Um, so and you once you spend them, they're gone until you level up. So
Mm-hmm.
and then you replenish them whenever you level up. So um, 10 fate points. Each level thereafter, the character gains additional fate point equal to half of the new level, rounded.
Uh-huh.
So if you're level 1, you have 10. If you're level 2, you have 11. Level
Right.
3, 11. If you're level 4, it keeps,
Right.
well, no, it's you have 12. You keep going, yeah,
Right.
go up. Um, Equal to half of their new level. So yeah, so one. Um, at the character makes the second level with 8 fate points remaining, they gain 1 new fate point for half their level, which adds their existing 8. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't get them all back. Just get the one that you earn back. So if you
Yeah.
spend 2 fate points, start the next with 9 fate. I might have said that wrong. I can also, as CKs, can also award fate point, heroic, dramatic role play, heroic or dramatic role play, um,
Mm-hmm.
clever in character banter, notable self sacrifice, or as compensation to the players when the story needs to take a turn that is particularly dark for one or more characters. Like um, characters.
It kind of the luck points in a little bit kind of reminds me of those or I'm sorry, those remind me like of the luck points in Call of Cthulhu
Yep.
a
Yes.
little bit.
So where I've ran mostly one shot, fate points don't really come into that much because they can just spend all 10 in one session, not worry about it.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
use them
Right.
when I'm doing one shots. But if it was a long standing campaign, of course they're yours.
Yeah.
So it is, but it's really cool addition. Whereas like in 5e, I give out inspiration
Uh-huh.
or I forget. This really puts it on players,
Yeah.
add them in when they level up. So I like that. Yeah. If you're watching, if you haven't played or haven't heard of Castles and Crusades, gotta check it. OldLordGames.com. Go check them out. Great company, great people, a lot of fun. Incredibly nice. It's just um if there's I think we're gonna I've been rambling for
No, it's okay.
Castle
Also,
Fish.
if you see these guys at a con, they're very approachable and cool and nice and answer a million questions and sit down and play with them.
Absolutely. If you see a Troll Lord, try your best to sign. Try your
Mm-hmm.
best, or even just go up and go, "Hey, I got room." I not guaranteed, but no, I'm gonna say they're gonna try to make room for
Yeah.
the Troll Lord guy. They're really cool about that, and they want more people, not just sell books. All of them are hurt. Love to play.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the Troll Lord Twitch channel, always see. There are plenty of Summer of Siege games going. Which it's there's a whole schedule out. I've posted it, but right offhand, I can tell you probably going to cut out. Oh, I can see. So as far as I can tell, right now, Center Guild Superior is in there. There's all tabletop junk. There are so many games that are Wily Hobbit. Um, all a Troll Lord, of course, does their own thing, and then they have like just roundtable discussions about. Go on there, find, watch it. Better yet, before you even just watch them play, it is a ton of fun. It is you'll get used. That's honestly a lot of times if I'm learning how I kind of get used, I'll go watch an act,
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
and I'm like, oh, I kind of, and then I'll sit there and read the book with, or see if I'm even um feel like you're and I think both of us speak for.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
But
It's
yeah,
it's oh, it just it feels dangerous, and I like that, so it doesn't get boring.
exactly. That's like let me be old. I think that's what's lacking in
Yeah.
of
Mm-hmm.
holy crap, at any moment my character might not be there anymore. And there is just a lack of fence and really caring character there. It notice that in some system of um, or at times, um, like I'm running a 5e game, Vecna even and based like Vecna made Vecna hijack him one time and say, "I just want to who I'm looking at, or who's standing against me." And somebody, one of the players, was playing his character, and it did a wonderful
Oh,
job at it. Did a wonderful job at it. I would never complain about they did it was legitimately in character, smarted off to Vecna. I say just, and then one of them, another player was like, I'm sorry that we're not up to snuff. That we aren't, like trying to smooth that over. I just had Vecna just go shh, and then point at them, ask them all for Constitution saving throw. They all failed, and they all took 80 product damage because he cast Circle of Death on them, and because they were all huddled together, and then he tossed them where they came from. None of them went down, but one of them did have 3 hit points left after
uh-huh.
that. And then they were like, "Oh, this that got real for a minute." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting real. You're fighting a god,
Yeah.
and um,
Characters aren't squishy enough these days.
yes, characters are not squishy enough. There's enough power and enough squish in the siege system
Mm-hmm.
to make you go, "Oh, I gotta think about this. How would my character
That,
actually react to this?"
that's role playing.
It's not ROLL playing; it's ROLE.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of things now, it's just kind of you can joke your way through it.
Yeah,
Which there's a time and place for that.
absolutely. Well, the big debate online, I think it's died down a little bit. Hopefully, by a ridiculous argument. Um, we all know who Critical Role is, and the
Uh-huh.
their new DM. Well, the DM for this campaign 4 is Brent Mulligan, and he did an automatic success players because they role played so well. They're like, well, if you're not going to roll dice, you just play it. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not how that goes. They role played very well,
Yeah.
and it came off, and it was like, you know what? As a DM, as a GM, as a game master, I would have been like, that was succeed. You don't even need to. That was. They actually get into their character that,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
that's what it's about. You a good story, and Castles and Crusades is a really good. Well, but it puts a sense of urgency and maintain characters corporeal form on the earth, on this realm. You got to think about your actions before you run in, and you don't have a 24 armor class level 6. You're still working with a 13 or a 14, and you're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
this could hurt, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh, have you ever listened to Tales of the Stinky Dragon?
a little bit. I haven't really
Me and my
dove
son,
into it.
we're way into. We've been listening every time we have a long car ride together. That's what we're jamming to, because it's so silly and fun and tongue in cheek, and it's just a hilarious game of 5e they've got going on.
Yeah, I
I'll
love it.
absolutely love it.
Like Dungeons and
Absolutely.
Daddies.
We laugh, we belly laugh while we're listening to that. It's some comedian voice actors that are doing it, and oh, it's so funny. It's kid friendly, but it's still
Adults can enjoy it.
it has a little humor for the adults too, but it's nothing nasty or anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. If you ever check that out, it's a pretty cool podcast. It's neat.
Is there
It's
anything
really
anything that you're doing coming up that you want to talk about,
uh
or you're
not
comfortable?
at the
A lot of
moment. I got kind of a busy summer.
yeah.
I've got some federal licensing exams I have to take. So I've been studying my butt off for that. And but after that's over, what I want to do, and
I've kind of
Bob Sarvis
blindsided you with
again.
this. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Well, Bob Sarvis, that I've talked about. This is the third time I've talked about him now.
Yeah.
That very difficult vindication. He said he wants to help me write that down into a little one shot, or at least take some parts of it,
Yeah.
and then possibly not this year or not 2027 because we need time to like put it all together. But eventually, we want to like take it to Gary Con.
Love it.
Yeah. So that would be really cool to make a one shot of that and then see what we can do.
Heck yeah, dude. Um, but you let me know if there's anything coming up. Let me know how kids games are. I
Oh,
re-
absolutely.
when we start our like I'm currently at my workplace right now, which is a hobby store in multiverse, and we get our game space up, and I'm RPGs Saturday,
Hmm.
and I run kids D&D 14 for the adults. So I I know it hurting kittens. It's,
Yeah.
I had one kid get up in the middle of the session and off and stare out the window in the middle of me starting the game. I was like, okay, you're in
uh,
the woods, you're doing this, and trying to set the scene for him. He just wanders off, and I was like, hey, buddy, you okay? He goes, yeah, I just want to look out the window. Why don't you come over and sit down with us, and we'll. Where'd you go? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And he just kind of sat down. I was like, he was 10 or 11 years old. It was really funny, but
yeah.
I was just like, man, what is happening?
That's always that's always fun at Gary Con too. You'll see the tables where somebody's running like a kids one shot,
Yeah.
and they've got it's just they're so excited and so into it, and they're like not even in their chair. They're like just standing up over the table, like oh,
Uh,
ready to go.
I've had
Trying to come up with ideas, and then they come up with the most wild ideas.
I've had kids standing in chairs ready to do something
Uh-huh.
crazy. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. They get into it. It's great. It's really good. And that this is so much better than a lot of which I like video game stuff, but this, if you don't want an iPad kid, get them into some D&D, get them
yes,
into RPGs because that really you can just see their imagination, the gears turning in their head. It's
absolutely,
great. I think it's very healthy for kids.
it's wonderful. With that, I'm going to say, Misfits and Miscreants returns this Sunday with Vecna Eve of Ruin. They have found the fifth piece of the Rod of Seven Parts, and are closing in on finding. Started a lot of trouble and say that. So a lot of fun. What happens next? As far as we're also doing at the end of July another summer, but I buckle down and try to write some more and throw a couple. I'll let you know because you're first on the list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be down.
Yeah, so we're gonna check into that and see what we can do. And as far as that goes, tuned in. We'll figure out what's happening with everything and keep you informed. But we're not going to have any kind of fancy outro or anything tonight, mainly because I'm on a different computer than I usually use, and I don't know what's wrong with the other one. But we're going to figure it out. It's probably a memory thing. I probably need to clear up some memory on it because I've been downloading a lot of stuff uh, legally, buying PDFs of you know adventures and
Legally.
legally. But yeah, if there is anything Summer Siege related out there, I highly suggest you watch it. Look out for my man Butch here because I feel like he's coming on here a lot more in the near future with me.
Anytime you'll have me, let me know.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, with that, we're going to say good night, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.